Most Americans think retiring on Social Security alone is impossible, but 10 small towns are proving them wrong. In 2025, the average Social Security check is $1,907 a month. Meanwhile, the typical American's retirement savings falls short by more than $1 million. So where does that leave the millions with no pension and no backup plan? We crunched the numbers on rent, utilities, groceries, and healthcare across hundreds of small towns and found 10 where that monthly check doesn't just cover the basics, it actually leaves money left over. Our number one town, the costs are so low, the math almost looks like a typo. We're counting down from 10 to 1. Most retirees have never even heard of these places. In the 10th place, Corsicana, Texas kicks off our countdown with a lesson in Social Security math. On paper, the numbers look tough. The average one-bedroom apartment rents for about $680 a month, and utility bills in the Texas summer can hit $180. Add groceries, gas, and healthcare, and a solo retiree faces a monthly shortfall, about $282 in the conservative scenario. But here is where it gets interesting. Sharing a two-bedroom brings rent down to $420 each, and utilities drop to $150. Suddenly, that $1,907 Social Security check covers the basics, leaving a frugal cushion of $105. There is no state income tax, and the nearest hospital is a quick 7-minute drive. Corsicana proves that teaming up with a roommate flips the script, turning a tight budget into a workable plan. The historic downtown and Texas charm are just a bonus. In Corsicana, a little creativity stretches every retirement dollar further. Number 9. Harlingen, Texas brings ultra-low rents to the Rio Grande Valley, but there is a catch for solo retirees. A typical one-bedroom runs about $720 a month, and summer utilities can climb to $185. Add groceries, transportation, and healthcare, and the conservative budget lands at $2,122, leaving a $222 gap if you are living alone on the average $1,907 Social Security check. Here's where it gets interesting. Share a two-bedroom, and your rent drops to $475, utilities to $150, and suddenly you are looking at a frugal monthly total of $1,785. That is a $115 surplus, enough for birdwatching at the world-famous Rio Grande Valley Refuge or joining the morning coffee crowd at the Harlingen Senior Center. Warm winters, no state income tax, and a growing community of retirees stretching their dollars make Harlingen a real contender. In this town, smart sharing and sunny skies can turn a tight budget into a comfortable retirement. 8th place goes to Albertville, Alabama, where a strong sense of community helps every dollar go further. The numbers tell the story. A one-bedroom apartment averages $660, utilities run about $165, and groceries come in at 97% of the national average. That means a solo retiree on the $1,907 Social Security check faces a conservative shortfall of $140 each month. But here it gets interesting. Share a two-bedroom, and your portion drops to $380 for rent and $140 for utilities. Suddenly, you are looking at a frugal surplus of $150, enough for fresh produce at the local farmers market or a class at the Pottery Guild. The Albertville Area Agency on Aging hosts regular benefit sessions, making it easier for seniors to tap into extra help, and healthcare is just a short drive away. Even with Alabama's tiny 0.5% Social Security tax, retirees here find that a little teamwork and a lot of neighborly spirit transform a tight budget into a comfortable lifestyle. In Albertville, stretching your Social Security check isn't just possible, it's practically a way of life. Number 7. Ottumwa, Iowa stands out for retirees who want Midwest affordability without sacrificing modern comforts. Rents for a one-bedroom hover around $620, and groceries come in at 96% of the national average, so your $1,907 Social Security check almost covers it all, landing just $130 short in a conservative solo setup. But here's where it gets interesting. If you split a two-bedroom, your share drops to $380 for rent and $140 for utilities, flipping the math to a frugal surplus of $150 each month. What really sets Ottumwa apart is its strong broadband coverage. Over 80% of homes have high-speed internet, making telehealth and video calls with family a breeze. The local VA clinic is just a short drive away, which is a game changer for veterans who need easy access to care. Riverfront trails offer a scenic way to stay active year-round. In Ottumwa, stretching your Social Security isn't just possible, it is practical, connected, and a little more future-proof than you might expect. Number 6. Beckley, West Virginia, brings a new twist to the Social Security retirement equation. A one-bedroom apartment averages just $610, and groceries run about 94% of the national average. That means a conservative solo retiree comes up $130 short each month. But here's where it gets interesting. A frugal roommate setup flips the script, creating a monthly surplus of $160. Utilities are manageable at $165, and a split two-bedroom brings rent down to $380 per person. But there is a catch worth planning for. Beckley sits in the heart of Appalachia, which means emergency medical services take a bit longer to reach you. Average ambulance response time clocks in at 14 minutes, and specialist care may require a drive. Still, the town's vibrant art scene, from the Appalachia Center for the Arts to live music on Main Street, keeps life colorful on a budget. For retirees who prize affordability and do not mind a little extra distance to the hospital, Beckley proves that mountain living can be both practical and inspiring. In Beckley, every dollar stretches as far as the mountain views. Number 5. Paragould, Arkansas, proves that neighborly support can stretch a Social Security check further than you might think. With the Department of Housing and Urban Development average rent at $720 for a one-bedroom, monthly utilities around $170, and groceries priced at 95% of the national average, a solo retiree faces a conservative shortfall of $128. But here is where it gets interesting. Paragould's Meals on Wheels program, run out of the First United Methodist Church, delivers hot lunches to seniors for just a suggested donation, slashing grocery bills and freeing up extra cash. Local volunteers even offer free rides to medical appointments, which means less spent on gas and more left for living. In a frugal roommate setup, the numbers flip, and suddenly you are looking at a surplus of $162 each month, enough for a weekly breakfast at the diner or a new pair of walking shoes. The next town on this list has something no other retirement destination in America can offer, and it costs almost nothing. In Paragould, community spirit is not just a slogan, it is a line item in your budget. Number 4. Greenville, Mississippi, proves that a walkable Delta town can stretch a Social Security check further than you might expect. With average one-bedroom rent landing around $620 and utilities at just $160, the basics come in well below big city prices. Groceries run about 94% of the national average, so a retiree can save even more at the checkout line. For someone living solo, the conservative budget leaves a gap of $115 each month. But here is where it gets interesting. Sharing a two-bedroom drops your portion of rent and utilities, flipping the numbers to a frugal surplus of $180. That means more money for Delta Blues nights, legendary catfish joints, or fresh produce at the local farmers market. Greenville's compact downtown makes it easy to get around without a car, so transportation costs do not eat up your budget. Healthcare is close at hand, with a full-service hospital in town and several clinics catering to seniors. In Greenville, you get the best of Southern culture and true affordability, proof that retiring on Social Security is not just possible, it can be downright joyful. Coming to the top 3, Gadsden, Alabama nearly flips the script for solo retirees. The math here is refreshingly close. A one-bedroom averages just $660 a month. Groceries run at 98% of the national average, and utilities stay around $165. That puts a conservative monthly total at $1,955, just $55 shy of the $1,907 Social Security check. But here is where it gets interesting. Share a two-bedroom, and your share of rent drops to $380, utilities to $140, and suddenly you're looking at a frugal budget of $1,685. That is a $215 surplus, enough for a few art classes or a night out at the local theater. The Gadsden Senior Resource Center is not just a place for lunch. It is a hub for painting workshops, computer lessons, and free benefits counseling. With Gadsden Regional Medical Center just 10 minutes from downtown, healthcare is close at hand. In Gadsden, a little flexibility and a lot of community support make retirement on Social Security not just possible, but genuinely enjoyable. Number 2, Poplar Bluff, Missouri takes affordability to the next level with some of the lowest grocery and rent numbers anywhere in the Midwest. Here, a typical one-bedroom apartment rents for just $620, while groceries come in at 92% of the national average. Utilities are manageable at $160, and when you add it all up, a frugal retiree lands at $1,658 a month, leaving a comfortable $242 cushion from that $1,907 Social Security check. Even the conservative solo budget stays close, coming in at $1,928, just $28 shy of break-even, making Poplar Bluff nearly viable for those who want their own place. Outdoor lovers will find plenty to do, with quick access to the Mark Twain National Forest and miles of hiking trails. One local renter sums it up: "I never thought I'd have money left over at the end of the month." Poplar Bluff proves you don't have to sacrifice nature or peace of mind to make retirement math work. And finally, in first place, Middlesboro, Kentucky delivers the biggest win for retirees hoping to make Social Security stretch. The math here is a breath of fresh air. HUD puts the average one-bedroom rent at $560. Utilities come in at a manageable $155, and groceries cost about 90% of the national average, roughly $315 a month. Add it up, and a conservative solo retiree's total lands at $1,866, nearly break even with the $1,907 Social Security check. But here's where Middlesboro really shines. In a frugal roommate setup, rent drops to $340, utilities to $130, and the monthly total plunges to $1,581. That leaves a surplus of $319, enough for a few road trips, a couple of nice dinners, or a rainy day fund. Kentucky exempts Social Security from state income tax, so retirees keep every penny. Healthcare is just a 10-minute drive, and the town is built in the crater of a prehistoric meteor, so you can honestly say your retirement is out of this world. In Middlesboro, living well on Social Security isn't just possible, it's practically a tradition. Across all 10 towns, one fact stands out: a Social Security check of $1,907 still unlocks a decent life, if you know where to look. Retirement is not about million-dollar savings. It is about finding places that welcome you as you are. The dream is still alive. You just have to find your spot.